Hello, and welcome to my ITSL game versus Aran Warszawski, who I will be facing as VUSSR. So far, the ITSL tournament is going pretty well for me. So I hope to keep it up this time as well. I have not faced Aran yet, not on this account at least. I cannot recall any games I've played against him, so I cannot say this 100%, but I don't think I've ever faced him before. This hand is pretty weak for the USSR. It would have been a lot better if I were a blue player. Now it's pretty awkward, a lot of events I don't wanna give up. And of course Purge would hurt a lot. Nasser is the only good headline here, so let's go for it. And it turns out to be successful in stopping Aran from getting 4 VPs. Okay, I don't feel comfortable going for Italy anyway. I think I will go for Iran regardless. I can space one card, hold one card, so I have to give him US Japan or Marshall or NORAD. I just don't know which one yet. I think I will start with East European unrest. It's potentially my only playable free up for now, so that's pretty scary, but I really wanna coup Iran. It's of course very important to kick him out of there if possible. Not with a roll like this though. Alright. Unfortunately now it's a good time for him to coup, and he has Egypt as his potential target. So it could be a good idea to take Libya. However, I kind of don't feel like over-investing in a scored region. I don't feel like there's much choice though. I got 0 access and no good cards to coup with, so I don't have many good places to spread my influence into. My default direction in this case would be South Korea. If I had a playable free up, I would probably put one point into South Korea already, but I haven't been granted such a luxury yet. Okay. That was a reasonable play by him. Let's get rid of Truman and enter South Korea, since he allowed us to do that. Especially after East European unrest, I don't want to risk any silly stuff happening in Europe if he were to break East Germany, for example, so getting rid of Truman is great, especially if we can fight for France on turn 2 if we get a playable hand. Well, I guess we're fighting for France now or never. I mean, not necessarily, but pretty much. Okay, I think giving him US-Japan is a disaster. So I would not give him that one. Marshall is very bad too, however NATO is already gone. It's still bad. I think I would try to give him NORAD, perhaps? And the later he gets that knowledge, the better for me. So I guess I will just start with spacing US-Japan. Yeah, now I roll a 6. Alright. Let's see what he does with it. It's preferable to hold blockade onto turn 2, so I can take out Distal if he has it on turn 2, and of course I can hope for Purge to get West Germany with it. But I would have to spend my China card already to hold 2 cards, so I'm not gonna do that. So I think the best thing I can do is just eventing blockade now. Unless I want to just go for France with NORAD. Let's try this. I feel like he's the one who wants to lower the DEFCON at this point, because the DEFCON is blocking him from going to Thailand, and also it threatens Pakistan at all times. So if I get his mind to focus elsewhere... Holy shit, his hand was a monstrosity. Oh, okay, maybe not so much, but... Yeah, that containment wasn't even that good with this hand, because NATO and Middle East. Okay, Marshall doesn't grant me France in this situation, so I will just event blockade like this. Maybe containment was his last free up he wanted to use for France defense, so maybe this baited him to lower his guard, and now he gives me West Germany. That would be perfect. He had another free up and he had decal and he hits that, jeez. Okay, that's all terrible. Okay, this is a solid hand, this is a way better hand than the previous one. Of course the factors are in the air, so headlining Purge is kind of risky. However, I can survive Purge getting defected. It would suck, it would hurt, but it's still 50-50 whether he has them or not. So I think I should go for it. Do I have other good alternatives? I could go for Fidel, but I don't know where the CIA is, so let's go for Purge. Because if I don't see the CIA, then I don't want to event Fidel. Captured Nazi scientists, okay. I'm glad it wasn't defectors. Well. Now we get to a game-defining moment, I think. Because now there is a choice, a clear one, between going for France and cooing something. Okay, I think it's a clear for France angle. I don't think I can go elsewhere. With Truman being gone, France is just too important to leave behind, and cooing immediately just doesn't achieve much, especially with Indo-Pakistani war not seen yet. it's absolutely unclear what happens even if I roll high in Pakistan, and taking France is just always good for me. Especially if he's really strongly encouraged to give me Suez Crisis or Socialists, which is possible. And I'm holding Marshall, so I may be able to force Europe domination onto him, unless he drops it immediately. I also have all the cards that fill Eastern Europe for me, so Independent Reds will be a free card. Yeah, a very, very good hand, very good hand. This blockade proved to be really useful. The fact that he was forced to space decal on turns on AR6 instead of grabbing France and India, for example, that helped a lot. However, the vision of him being under purge with decal in his hand now is even is tempting as well. Oh, I believe this is Aran's first game in this edition of the ITSL. So I have the honor of being his first opponent here. I'm not really scared of him getting France from me. I don't believe he's able to, so I could consider queuing something, either Iran or Panama. Now CIA is gone, so queuing Panama is actually tempting, especially with me wanting to go to Algeria either way. Of course, Arab-Israeli War and Korean War are still in the deck, so he probably will give me some mid-ups. This coup looks like a pretty standard way to just lower the DEFCON and focus on Asia. I feel like he doesn't have Europe scoring and he has Asia scoring. That would be my bet. I would put him at Asia scoring and no Europe scoring. So I want to have a free up to take South Korea immediately. Now queuing Iran doesn't seem to be bad either. Yeah, but it's probably worse than queuing Panama. Let's just go Panama now. RIP. My rolls are pretty disgusting so far. However, I cannot argue that the cards I got this turn were very solid. UN, probably a war. No, Suez Crisis, alright. So he takes Thailand with it probably, yeah, so now I have to take South Korea. There are not many high-up cards left in the deck. He may have duck and cover, but if he had duck and cover, I doubt he would start with using UN intervention and Suez Crisis. So I think he doesn't have any playable 2-ups left. I mean 3-ups, but for him those are 2-ups. Which is a very sad situation to be in. It's of course a speculation, but I think it's justified. Korean War, alright. Really? Probably one to India. Or one to Lebanon. That's an option as well. As an emergency option, I always have the China card to take Japan with, but I would really like to avoid doing that. To Laos? Out of all places? Really? He has Vietnam revolts, and he will give me Vietnam revolts. Okay, so he has Vietnam revolts. So he probably... so maybe he doesn't have Asia, actually. Maybe I was wrong about that. Sure, then I guess I will use Fidel for ops. So that also means, okay, so he has in the Pakistani war, he doesn't have distal. Well, his rolls are really annoying. Okay, let's leave ourselves some space when it comes to our last round with Warsaw Pact. Okay, socialists to space. Okay, so if he's giving Vietnam revolts, then that means he will probably overprotect Thailand as his last move. And if he's going to overprotect Thailand as his last move, then maybe I can do that. This first of all makes Middle East scoring really painful for him if it comes. And if it doesn't, well, he will need to get presence in the Middle East either way, and doing that ensures that Muslim revolution will be painful if it comes. Okay, so I was right about that and wrong about him having Asia. Now he got Asia and Europe. Interesting. He also got distal, which is terrible. Alright. 5-year plan, UN, Suez. That's a pretty decent redraw. So I will play all the cards, space duck and cover, play Marshall with UN, and play 5-year plan as my last card. And that's it. I do not need to counter anything specific with Suez. So I guess I will just go for Arab-Israeli war, because if I can win it, it's really good, and I can get some VPs and so on. And if he does something really weird, I guess I can use duck and cover as my reaction to it to lower the DEFCON. And then Arab-Israeli war will immediately grant me the needed MILOPs. So I think this is correct. Also, Suez Crisis is just a bigger card. It's a 3-op instead of a 2-op, so I think that's the way to go. He may be considering headlining one of the scorings, of course. Especially with there not being that many other good headlines for him in the deck. Like, NATO is bad. Wait, oh, actually, East European unrest is pretty scary now. I mean, it's not really scary since I can fix it with duck and cover, but it would be annoying. And it would force me to give him duck and cover, which I don't want to do, of course, so there's that. Also, the perspective of me taking Pakistan over with the China card is pretty tempting. Not necessarily a good play. Oh, come on. I mean, okay, I don't... Shit. This sucks, man. Sure, whatever. I don't need to get more mill-ups, so I can coup with a 1-up now, I guess. No, I'm tempted to count all the bad rolls. So there's 1. There's 2. Then there was a coup, right? With reds. Then lost Korean War. Lost Arab-Israeli War and lost coup with Olympic Games. Jeez. Then it's interesting what he was even thinking about. Like, Purge seems obviously a correct headline. He knows my hand, so he knows that Purge is really effective against me, obviously. It's... I wonder what he was considering, what else he could have headlined instead of the Purge. Like, there are almost no cards that I would think about if I saw a Purge in his hand. There's just nothing better in the deck. Yeah, sure, buddy. What a great card. Right. Okay, so Asia is basically a lost cause. I cannot even take Japan or Pakistan with China now, because of course Purge, so that's no longer under consideration. Europe is probably lost. I mean, it's not lost, of course, technically, but I just don't think I will be able to get domination there. I would have to use a free up on my next move to take Turkey or something like that. Jesus Christ, what a redraw. Okay, whatever, so Europe is lost. Well, okay, so he has 5 cards, and 4 moves. I know 3 cards. 2 of those are scorings. So, like, what happens now? Let's say I do this. I take Turkey. What if he responds by taking... No, okay, he doesn't... No, he doesn't have NATO or US Japan, fuck it, I don't care. You cannot convince me he got that as well. I don't believe this. I'm not gonna play around the possibility of him getting 3 fucking 4-ups. If he breaks East Germany with a 3-up and puts 2 influence there, that's kind of a problem. Sure. But then I think I can... Well, okay, it would be really awkward. Because my main advantage, despite being kind of fucked with rolls and cards, is that he's short on time. He has only 4 moves left, 2 of those are scorings. So, I don't have to be able to outspend him in the long run during this turn. I just need to be annoying for long enough that he has to play the scoring on my terms. And I think that's kind of achievable in Europe. So if he drops Asia now, for example, I think I can just play Marshal 2 into Greece, 1 into East Germany. Well, and is it enough? Then he puts the ops around, and then he would need a playable free op to put 4th one into Canada and 2 additional points into Benelux. I guess that's the scenario in which he draws anyway. Well, it kind of depends on his ops. Okay, special is a 2 op. 2 is fine. Okay. So he has 1 move to make before he needs to drop a scoring. I could play for the chance that he doesn't have a playable 2-op. And break Pakistan with Marshall Plan. That would be a very weird move. But I think it's correct. I feel like it's either genius or stupid. I cannot decide. Like, there are not many cards that... I mean... there are 12 cards that he may have as the last card in his hand that I do not know. And half of those cards are either red or unplayable. By unplayable I mean they are CIA or Middle East, they are not 2-ups. So maybe this is the case. Sure! Yeah, sure. The worse your position is, the more you have to rely on lucky turns of events. I think I should just try going for Pakistan here. I could have used the China card to break it, but like in a better way too, but after he took Greece and Spain, like without it, and after I took Turkey, and with France being basically settled for good, unless he realigns me in some weird turn of events later on, I don't feel like Marshall Plan is that bad, especially with him having played Special Relationship already, so even if NATO happens because of it, then it's basically alright. That won't matter before the late war. Alright, that's a success. Let's get some access to Algeria, because on turn 4 and after I cannot really afford avoiding the mid-war battlegrounds. I don't think that's acceptable. Oh, he had all 3. Oh, I guess that's why he was thinking. He wanted to check if he wanted to try going for a scoring despite it being bad overall, so that he doesn't have to waste 3 moves on for the scorings. I think his decision was obviously correct to just go for the purge, but I understand why he thought about it for a while. 1 goes to Algeria for sure, and 1 to Pakistan is iffy, but I don't really have better options, I think, so I will just be satisfied with this. Interesting, interesting last 3 moves there. Asia scoring, Middle East scoring, Europe scoring. Thank God, by the way, that he also got the Middle East turn 1. Without it, my situation would have been a lot worse. Okay, this is a bad hand. Like, really bad. Like, really fucking bad. It has 1 good card in it. No access. And Cambridge 5, which looks like a decent headline, however, after this turn of events, I don't think it's any good. It's still better than Gunman. Muslim Rev is sus. It's complicated. This is really tough. Muslim Rev is a good event, but it fights only for the Middle East, which has been scored just now. And it's also my only 4-up. Of course, if he has Missile Envy, I want to headline Muslim Rev like really hard. But I don't think I can play around him having Missile Envy on turn 4, come on. The chances for that are really low. Gunman doesn't even hit anything. I think Cambridge 5 is the best here. Yeah, of course. Oh, thank you. At least that happened. Okay, nice. The good ending. He probably gives it back, so I probably won't be forced to give him OAS. That's the good part. And if he hits really well in the Middle East, then I can make better use of Muslim Ref. He goes for Algeria, that's reasonable. Cambridge 5 doesn't find anything, obviously. Oh man. And now I'm the one who is looking for a bailout when it comes to getting mill-ups. How do I feel about the China card? So going to Saharan states is an option. I wish I had a playable 2-up. Do I want to fight for Pakistan? Do I want to take Afghanistan? Probably not. Okay, what happens if I do something like... Oh, come on. Not that. I don't want to do that. What happens if I do something like this? If he coups Saharan states, he can get Nigeria, and that's fine. Because then I will be able to take Thailand with the China card and then use Nixon to coup back Saharan states. So the trade-off is that he gets a better position in Africa, but his position in Africa is already better than mine because I got 0 access and he has South Africa. And I get Thailand, which is great. And if he responds with doing something else, like going to Angola and overprotecting Thailand, then I get to take Nigeria, which is a win. And if he has missile envy still, this kind of disarms it. What I lose is I lose the Muslim Rev event, which is a great event for me, but my only other 4-up is the China card, and I need it as a threat for Thailand. The other option is to not take Pakistan. So I would need to do something like this. How good is that? Of course it's terrible against Missile Envy. Wait, okay, let's be realistic. Am I... Or maybe I am. I was going to ask if I'm even going to play Muslim Rev for event with this little ops, but maybe I am. Because my ops suck, but my access sucks even more. And I don't even have places to put ops into. So maybe this is the way to go, actually. Is his situation better now? If he has a 4-up, he can take Pakistan back and protect Thailand. Is it bad if he does that? I feel like Pakistan doesn't matter at this point. What if he goes to Colombia? Nothing. Doesn't matter. So okay, basically the question is, do I want to play Muslim for event or not? I think that before the Middle East comes back, he will get Sadat or... But again, maybe I get Camp David and I can space it and he gets Sadat, but that's not enough. Because I can fix Egypt. Okay, I don't care. Middle East was scored. There are several events that help me deal with Iran in the mid to late war. I will be fine there. I can do this. I think this is the way. I have... This is absurd, but sure, I'm glad I played around it, however... I really did not expect him to have it, like, realistically. I didn't think that would happen. I'm really glad then. I'm really glad that he doesn't get Muslim revolution from this, because that would have been a disaster. Jesus. Really? Okay. I will take that. That's a nice turn of events. I didn't expect that to happen. Yeah, of course he got access. So let's at least get rid of the scoring before he uses this access for his evil deeds. Really? Holy shit, man. At least that didn't work, but... this game is really something. Okay, let's leave queuing Costa Rica for my last move, potentially. Before that happens, I will overprotect Pakistan. Since he knows I have lone gunman, let's get rid of that. And since in the Pakistani war is gone and he got the China card, let's not give it up for free again. Okay, he spaces unsuccessfully, so that's nice. Let's go Costa Rica to get mill-ups. Okay. Not a great turn, however I got way further down the African continent than I was expecting to. So that's something to be glad about. Well, it looks like everything will still be decided by Brush, Junta and ABM. And Salt, but he got Salt and Missile Envy already, so those do not count. Okay, no ABM, no Brush War and no Junta. How could it be otherwise? Well, fuck me, I guess. Nothing better to do than headlining Fidel then, since defectors are gone. At least I got some ops. Jesus. The Halloween Discord is spooking me. Bear Trap. Bear Trap is alright if I get out quick. Okay. It's suboptimal. He will get the first coup, but I got to drop one card I didn't want to have anyway, so... as long as I'm not stuck there forever, I will tolerate that. That's not a 1. unfortunately. Sure, let's get some access after the scoring, but well, I'm not in a position to pick and choose. Now, unfortunately, it will be a little tougher for me to force him to give me some coup targets. The only upside about this situation is that without giving me any coup targets, he cannot establish a domination in Asia or Central. So that's the optimistic aspect of that. Also, I feel like if he had the Voice of America, he would have used it now. So maybe I don't have to rush with flower power. However, it's probably not a bad thing to do so anyway. Unless he's playing around Portuguese Empire crumbles and South African unrest, but I feel like if I had any of those, I would have never evented Allende on move 2. That would be absurd. Well, okay, I think I can... Or actually... Let's go to Nicaragua. If he doesn't coup it, that's fine. I will at least make sure that he doesn't realign me out of Cuba for no reason. And, and if he did succeed in like the first roll or something, his secondary target is Chile, and if he succeeded in realigning that as well, that's basically a tragedy, so... Let's at least protect against that scenario. Now I learned. How did you learn? Let's take the China card since there are no other pressing matters to attend. He had it himself. Not funny. It's not funny. Since the game doesn't look really well for me, I will try to make at least some slow attempts at creating a pathway for Europe victory. I'm not going to commit to it just yet, however, even if he fixes West Germany with one op, it kind of makes Willy Brandt an annoying event for him, and maybe if he leaves West Germany open for a turn too long, I can enter it, and then it's just a matter of brushware in Italy, with 1/3 chances of hitting. Okay, if it encouraged him to use our man in Tehran for ops instead of event, that's good. Quagmire is good, Weevilberry is good, and Junta is good. NATO is also good, Cuban Missile Crisis is good. Africa is questionable but probably not bad. Liberation is good, One Small Step is whatever but definitely not terrible. That's a really solid hand. It's a bit late and it doesn't have Brush or RBM, which is very worrying, but in general it's definitely not a hand I can complain about. Quag of course cancels NORAD, but he doesn't seem to care about it. Junta is always good. Liberation is good, especially because Central is basically the only region except for Africa that I hold that's not scored. Southeast Asia is basically unplayable for me. I mean, I cannot achieve anything there. Alright, so Quagmire is good overall, and it has the biggest high roll potential, if you can call it that. There is the biggest chance of it just ruining the game for my opponent for no reason at all. Just with enough bad luck, you cannot win a game against Quagmire. Junta probably gets me... Junta just gets me Panama. Because I basically use Junta and coup Venezuela, and with a roll from 1 to 4 I get Panama, with a roll from 5 to 6 I get Panama and Venezuela. With Liberation I can destroy his situation in Central if he scores it, but it's nothing spectacular. I think it's better as AR7. Quagmire is problematic because it's never gonna be as impactful as on turn 1. And with him being in Guatemala, Junta will always have a good use, even like during the turn. So maybe I will just go Quagmire. The only problem with Quagmire is that it's not impactful immediately. So if he headlines Central scoring, Quagmire is terrible. However, Quagmire is really good against other impactful cards. So like if he headlines Colonial Rearguards, for example, or Voice of America or something like that, then Quagmire is top of the top. And I think that's basically what I will go for. Sure, let's go Quagmire. Okay, Camp David. Camp David is annoying, but it doesn't work in regions that are yet to be scored, so it's acceptable. Now, Liberation is a little bit better now, but with Defcon High I still wanna prioritize queuing, and I really need to hit that queue in Angola. If I queue with a 3-up and I roll a 1, I'm cooked. So let's start with queuing Angola with a 4-up. That's another disgusting roll. I cannot roll well this game. I will not get a single good roll. Holy shit. But at least in Angola that was enough. Okay, he's out immediately, so that didn't achieve much. However, I get to stabilize around Angola a little bit. So there are several approaches I could take. The safest one is to just drop Africa now. However, it doesn't play well around Voice. The question is, would he play Voice? Well, like if he had Voice, would he headline Camp David? That seems a bit odd. Camp David headline is weak. It suggests weakness, I think. Or he really wanted to be responsive with Voice, maybe. Maybe he wanted to play Voice after Junta, but... Because what else can I do? I can basically realign Zaire. What if I use Junta to go into Panama and coup Guatemala? Then the problem is when he uses a 4-up to go to Botswana and Panama, right? then I basically either drop Africa or risk everything by realigning Zaire at that point. That seems to be a weird situation. But it's probably good on average. I just need to roll well for once. Okay, I think this is nice. Because this stops Central. If he just fixes Panama after this... another two. Fucking Christ. If he just fixes Panama after this, I get to realign him out of Zaire. I mean, try at least. And then he cannot immediately score Central against me, because he has no access to cheap non-battlegrounds, so he will need to spend another turn cooing Nicaragua, and then I can respond with Liberation, and if he's really weak, he will have some problems managing this situation. It will get a little bit messy there. And of course the best scenario is that he does something else, like he... Like he has to fix Panama basically. If he doesn't do that, then I get it for free, and that's really, really good for me. So he cannot really afford to not do that. The problem is that his hand cannot really be that bad. I'm really confused about the Camp David headline, because there are only good cards for him that are left in the deck. Like, there are several bad ones, like Che. No, Che is good too, like, sure. Maybe he has a hand of good cards that are not good headlines, like Che, Warsaw Pact, Brezhnev, US-Japan. Maybe he has Asknod and a really good hand, so he doesn't want to headline that, and Arms Race. He had it? What the hell? Okay, that's terrible, but why the fuck would you headline Camp David instead of Junta? Instead of Voice? Why? Jeez. This is terrible. This is really bad. Okay, maybe it's my bad then. Maybe it's my fault, but I abso-fucking-lutely didn't expect that to happen now. Well, I guess confusing your opponent is still a valid strategy in this game. My bad. And let's see, maybe he's really poor, or... Nah, fucking course he has Che. Okay, so I guess that Africa is gone. I mean, it's basically a draw, because yeah, I have no way to get it to a better state. There is just nothing I can do. RIP. Okay, let's hope that he didn't get Brush and ABM and I get them. Then I will have some tools to turn this game. However, it's really not looking well now. I don't know, maybe he wanted to hold voice for his AR7 play. Holy shit. For his AR7 play and then changed his mind or something like that, but I just... Oh, or maybe he has Sadat. Or maybe he doesn't have Sadat, but he wanted to play around me having Sadat. That's even more probable, probably. More probable, probably, yeah, congrats. What a great sentence I have created. Well... I expect Brezhnev now. Okay, let's just go Nicaragua, honestly. Holy shit, I just cannot get a single good roll. I will not get it. Until end of this game, I will not get a single good roll. I promise. There will be none. I hope I don't get brushware. I don't want to get disappointed once more. Ah, he had Sadat. Sure, that makes sense. At least he didn't have Brezhnev. Hey, I got ABM, he got Junta. Sounds fair. ABM with a 2-roll does something, and Brushwar with a 2-roll does nothing, so that's clearly the better part for me. This hand is really, really good. His hand is really, really good too. However, my redraw with nuclear test ban is also something to be glad about. How good is Cambridge 5 realistically? So the problem, Cambridge 5 is probably good because he surely has at least one scoring and he's probably not gonna headline it. The problem with it is that I kind of need to cut Thailand with ABM, and I will not be able to do that if I don't headline it. I will need to do that on turn 1, which is really, really awkward. So... I could go for Decol as well. Decol is good too. So that would be something like breaking Indonesia, Philippines, Angola and Thailand. Or Indonesia, Thailand, Angola and South Africa. That's also a good response if he headlines colonial rearguards. That's also really, really worth considering. I could also go for ABM and headline it for Ops. Just put influence somewhere and then coup Thailand with China. But that seems a little bit over the top for no reason. Brezhnev is absolutely not the go-to here. I would love to hold him though. And Kennedy seems a little harmless at this point, so maybe I can play the China card regardless and then hold Brezhnev with OAS? Maybe that's the plan? So the headline options are Decol and ABM. And his headline options are Brush War with no great targets. I mean, Pakistan basically is a great target, but Asia scoring is nowhere to be found for now. So if he held Voice of America last turn, he will hold Brush War now by the same logic. So I expect him to just headline Colonials. And if he's doing that, then headlining Decol is just the best. So let's counter his headline. Now the interesting question is whether he will overprotect Thailand with this move. I'm curious about this. Yeah. Okay, so he went for the really defensive setup, which I kind of understand. So now I guess the best chance I get is to just coup Mexico with nuclear test ban and then coup Panama or Mexico again with ABM, I guess. And let's try to just force him to give up as many VPs from Central as it's possible. And yeah, and in the worst case scenario I'll just space Kennedy. So let's do that. So Portuguese is not playable. Retake that, break that, coup that. Oh! Holy sh... I got a good roll, yes! And I really needed it now, so thank you. Maybe I can play this game. Maybe it's playable. Okay. Nice. Please just fail your brush for now, and we're so back. I'm so back. If he fails brush and I hit ABM, I'm so back. Oh, it's weird. I was genuinely shocked. I was really shocked when that happened. I didn't expect it. I'm really glad that I believe. I mean, I'm really glad that I tried it instead of going for a safe Angola coup, because I feel like I need this central VP swing now. In the worst case scenario, I want him to waste his brush war on fighting for central. What? What the hell is that move? And he's doing it with arms race. Oh, okay, to be fair, after my first coup there is little use for it. But I mean, okay, it's really curious. Why? Wait, there was a reshuffle, of course. I got a nuclear test ban from Rijo, so he has brush war. So this Colombia, if I had brush war, I would read this Colombia move as a defense against brush in Panama. But this, maybe he wants to. Like, if this is a defense against ABM in Panama, maybe this is it. But then Costa Rica sounds like a better move. He also has coup targets, so he doesn't want to bait me into anything silly. I don't get it. Okay, whatever. I guess Southeast Asia is not going to get much better, and it could get worse. I don't think I'm going for Burma, so let's drop this before it gets ugly and see what's his continuation. I don't think I like this Colombia move. I don't think I like it. Okay, Jean Paul for a coup. Come on! Oh my lord. I really don't wanna coup. This is gonna end like every other coup except the Mexican one. Sure. Oh! Okay. Maybe not. It's still a little worse. I used a 3-up and he used a 2-up, but at least I'm not getting immediately realigned out of Mexico. If he doesn't succeed in winning the war and realigning me out, he will use brush war in Mexico, like almost for sure. So I just have to hold the line for as long as he holds brush war, and after he uses it, then, well, then I can try responding with ABM in Panama, I guess. That's the best shot I get. Okay, please fail. Please. Shit, man! Why? Okay, let's try it. Okay, this is... My rolls were unlocked this turn. I stopped rolling the 2s and I'm rolling the 5s now. Let's see if he wants to continue the fight, though. That's the interesting question. He also knows I have Kennedy, so he may be tempted to, you know, play a little bit with it, see what I'm up to, and hope that I give up his event so he can dispose of his nasty central scoring, but of course that's not gonna happen. He knows I have Brezhnev and OAS, and he doesn't know I have Cambridge, so he may be hopeful about me giving him Kennedy, so maybe he gets baited into that thinking. Space. Interesting. He didn't space Portuguese. Does he have another red card to space? It's curious. I wanna get that. He's playing with fire with those moves. Now he probably sees that he's not getting Kennedy. Not after I played the China card. Come on. Unless he drops Central, then he can help himself. Another good card. Okay, now if he drops Central, then he will get Kennedy. If he doesn't drop Central, then he will be forced to drop it on his last AR, which is something that's better to avoid. I would love for him to drop the scoring now. Aw. He's still hopeful about it. Okay, so I could take India with Brezhnev, or I could space Kennedy. And I think spacing Kennedy is what I wanna do. I really want to have Brezhnev as my headline option for the next turn. So let's do that. Let's get my, what, 4 VPs from Central and see what the late war brings. It brought... well, this is something. It's probably not terrible. It looks solid, I think. He sees my headline, that's okay. Mm. Willy Brandt. I think this is absolutely a Brezhnev angle. I think Brezhnev is the way to go here. One small step is pretty useless. Willy Brandt is alright, but nothing special. Solidarity is still free. Voice could be held and spaced on a later turn. How good is Salt? I can get Brush War or ABM. Both are good. I could get Muslim, which is crazy good if he spaces Iranian hostage crisis. And the rest is whatever. Okay. I think I will just go for Brezhnev and I will decide if I wanna use Salt for an event later on, depending on the needs of the future. Pope is on the discard pile, so I don't need to rush with Solidarity. Socialists are not though. Uh-oh. Oh, please don't. Actually, most of my cards are good, so yeah, he hit probably the best one. Maybe Salt is more flexible than this, but I will be fine. The only problem is that I have to give him OAS now and space voice instead of spacing OAS and holding voice, but that's fine because with Brezhnev I can use voice. I can use OAS to repair its own damage, so it will be tolerable. Let's go Angola regardless. I'm not giving him anything else yet. I don't want to give him the Iron Lady because he may have socialists, and I don't want to give up Salt because I may be willing to event it. However, it's always a bit tricky because he may be holding the gunman, and then I really don't want to give him the option of like getting rid of it for free, basically. I rolled well enough so that now realignments in Zaire are a real threat. So either he has a 4-up to take India and Zimbabwe at once, or if not, he needs to decide between taking India and protecting Zaire, which is a great position to be in from my perspective, of course. Okay, that's a weak play. I mean, it's not a weak play in a sense that it's incorrect, it's just not really improving his position. It suggests that he has a weak hand. However, that's a statement I've made before, and my predictions this game were iffy. Yeah, sure. Let's get rid of Salt. Really? And what's that for? Now if he takes Laos, 3-5... Well, now if he takes Laos it's a draw in Asia, but if he just took Laos without that it would be a draw in Asia as well because of shuttle, so I don't know if that's really the reason he's doing it. Let's use this window of opportunity to do nothing and space the voice before it rots in my hand. Why Afghanistan? I don't get this. Why Afghanistan? Maybe he's scared of Iran-Iraq war? But then why not invest in Iraq? Iraq is a better target to invest in, I think. With Muslim on the discard pile. And just after I played Salt. So you know I'm not gonna pick it up at any point in this game. I disagree with this Afghanistan play unless there is a bigger idea behind it. Or maybe he's just playing for a draw in Asia in the long term, and he thinks that this is the way in which he can be grounded this. Ooh, terrorism. Okay, so now it's not a problem. I can absolutely fight. He knew he could deny me one action round of play, but he decided to play terrorism for ops regardless. It looked like his hand is really weak and he has Asia. I think he has Asia. But again, my predictions are not to be trusted this game. Okay, that's a nuisance, however, it's manageable. Sure, I will give up the Iron Lady sooner or later regardless, so I can just as well do it now. Take Malaysia. Okay, I would love to give him OAS next action round. I don't want to be left with it for my last move of the turn. Oh, maybe he didn't... Oh, I see. He knows that if I have the CIA, I'm already dead. Screw you. Yeah, sure. If he has war games, he can just win, whatever. Fucking hell. Maybe he was aware that if I have the CIA, I'm already dead anyway. From the DEFCON, of course. So he didn't want to risk discarding the CIA from my hand if I had it. Okay, what do you have, sir? Any Asia scoring enjoyers? Thank you. Okay, I'm glad I was right about this one thing. Now the Middle East is the problem. Iranian hostage crisis is still a good event that's out there. This doesn't... I could event Willy, but I think I want to enter Iraq and get access to Saudi before he just puts an op into Iraq and takes it completely. And let's see what's his last AR. Let's see what he prepared for us. Iran Contra makes sense. Jordan, Saudi, okay. Ooh, hello! What a great hand to see. Yes, 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 please. More. More of that. Damn! What a beauty. Defector is nowhere to be seen and he sees my headline, which is suboptimal. That's for sure. However, other than that, I will gladly take this hand. Huh. Interesting. How good is Pershing? Not really. Not really good. Sozgov's useless. Wargames not gonna happen. Ortega useless. But the ops are there. Junta is great and Purge is great. Missile Envy is harmless if he has it. Okay, so it's basically between Purge and Junta. Purge is looking really juicy because of the fact that he's pretty far up on the space track. Junta is basically great for getting advantage in South America, and Purge is just a great overall card. Of course, what I need to be looking out for is Star Wars. And Star Wars is tricky because it can be played after Purge to purge me. It cannot be played after Junta to use Junta on me, not during the headline phase. However, even if he had Star Wars, I don't think he would purge me. He has so many interesting options to choose from. Even East European unrest, honestly. And what I'm scared of is Chernobyl. If he has Chernobyl, then I need to purge him, basically. But, truth be told, if he headlines Chernobyl, I can purge him AR1 after Junta. How good is Junta mid-turn? It's not bad, but... I think this is the play. My gut is telling me that Purge was better, but I cannot justify it. The logical part of me says that Junta is the play. I have a gut feeling that I should have purged him, but I feel like I have a tendency to overvalue headlining Purge. I'm not sure though. It's hard to say. If nothing silly happens on during the headline phase and I, for example, secure Brazil with Junta, I can even purge him at turn AR1. Alright. You're scoring. That's a good sign. Because there is no prospect of me getting ahead in Europe, so that's a really safe headline, especially with him being able to see my headlines. I'm really tempted to purge him now. Okay, sure. Let's start with going Venezuela. Nope. Didn't matter anyway. Now it's a good time to take Brazil and Uruguay, so I guess I'm using Purge for this. I'm not gonna go for war games because Missile Envy is somewhere out there waiting for me to lower my guard for just one move. That's a bad move. Why would you do that? You know very well that Muslim revolution is out of the game. I don't understand this. Why would you... Okay. This is weird. Or maybe let's be a little more subtle. Unfortunate. Should have used Arab Israeli War. Damn it. Damn it. Still scared of the Star Wars. Aww. That's very sad. At least he failed too, but... Gunman is not coming back. So true, Mr. Reagan. So true. For how long have I been? Oh no, okay, I spaced it right here and it came back. Okay. Jesus Christ, I'm getting tired of this game. This is exhausting. Okay, that's understandable. Let's do this. I was going to break Venezuela with war games, not for South Africa, but since he did that, then it's kind of appropriate to respond to this. Please do. Botswana, Zimbabwe. Botswana is understandable, but Zimbabwe kind of suggests Africa scoring. I cannot be certain though. Having 3 scorings also kind of explains why he was so eager to headline a scoring instead of this card, for example. Alright, I could break Saudi Africa, Jesus Christ, Saudi Africa. Yeah, sure, South Africa again. But I think at this point I would rather coup Botswana with Pershing probably. No! Oh my goodness! If he has Africa scoring, I will commit crimes. Oh, I just needed to not roll a 1, come on! What the hell? That's good, I will take that. Chile or Uruguay? Sure, go Chile. I guess he realigns me now. Fuck, man! Just not a 1! Yep. Bye bye. Oh, hell yeah, Africa scoring, that's what I fucking needed right now. God. Not a great hint to... Shit. Okay. Defectors still out there. Defecting Iranian hostage crisis would be a disgrace. Let's just go for liberation theology. Shit. Okay, I guess the best chance I get is Queen Zaire with this hand, so that's what we will go for. I'm not sure which card to use for that, US Japan or Evil Empire. How about this US Japan? US Japan is basically harmless. I will still dominate Asia. And if he takes over Laos... Oh, so the change that is caused by me giving up Japan is that now taking over Laos equalizes Asia, but I think I can live with it. I'm kind of short on playable cards anyway without the China card, so I think I will start with Queen Zaire with Japan because I have to succeed this role. If not, then if I don't, then I'm finished. Let's hope that his hand is not great. Alright, so... no secrets then, at least for him. I mean, at least for me, but it depends on how you look at it. So I cannot allow him to get ahead on the VP track, because if he has Star Wars, then he can win the game with War Games. So this is... so getting at least a draw in Africa, but preferably by domination, of course, is a crucial task. And if he rolls well in Nigeria, it will be really hard to do that. Like really, really hard. I guess I will... I mean, not have to, but then... Oh! Thank you. Okay, nice. What do I do now? Okay, so... my gut feeling is this. But... this is probably better. Or like that? Sure. Okay. Okay, I could try something with Botswana now, but I feel like my priority should be to drop Africa before it gets worse. With Iranian hostage crisis, I can probably compete in the final scoring, even if he doesn't have serve. So let's try it. He's running out of time. We've played an hour per player game and he has 3 minutes on the clock left and the turn has just started. Holy Jesus. What a game. China. Well, Mr. Envy is still out there, so let's try fighting for this, I guess. Puppet governments are annoying but playable. He cannot really fight for anything more than a draw. Oh, unless he hits in the Pakistani war, of course. He cannot fight for anything more than a draw in Asia. I will have 4 cards more to play. This is an event. This is for ups. And I will have to play Summit and one of those 2 bad boys. Puppets don't really matter in Africa. They may matter in Central, but not much. And in South, they matter little. So that's probably the best card to coup with to get 2 Millops. The question is, do I coup Botswana or Zimbabwe or Colombia? Okay, because I could play an Evil Empire to put 3 points into India, but then Missile Envy fucks me over. That's the the truth. So I don't think I want to open myself to that possibility. So I will probably... Okay, I will start with Iranian hostage crisis. So now an evil empire is free to be played. And if he doesn't take India now, I will just put all the ops from evil empire into India. However, I expect him to just take India, of course. That would be the most reasonable thing to do. Ooh, I could use nuclear subs as on my last AR instead of queuing with puppets. That's probably worse though, right? Okay, what's the situation? Let's say Asia is -1 and China is +1, so it's 4 for him, that's 1, that's 0 basically. Let's say that Africa is like 0. Okay, so theoretically I'm kind of winning on board if nothing very weird happens. So the question is, how bad is a scenario in which he gets a coup in Angola? Voice is on the discard pile. Oh shit, he may have... Oh, if he has Star Wars and picks up voice, that's terrible. But then nuclear subs don't matter anyway. Okay, sure. So, okay, will he... Okay, so if he coups Angola successfully with nuclear subs, at this point, it doesn't grant him victory. So now nuclear subs are still a card that's safe to play. I don't know... I don't know if Voice of America is enough for him, and also I don't know if I can even count it at this point. I'm just... Okay, that begs for a Colombia coup. Okay, that was a successful one, fortunately. 3 was enough, to be fair, but 4 is better, of course. Oh my lord, please, not like this! Jesus Christ, I really didn't want to lose this game like that. That would have been terrible. Okay, that doesn't change shit. This does. But this is bad against voice. Don't care. Okay, if he coups Angola, then he gets 4 from Africa, -1 from China, but 1 from Milops, so that's... so that's 9 for him. 6, 2, 1, and he loses. Okay, so there is no single coup that could lose me the game. So nuclear subs is a free card. So let's say he has voice. He takes 1 from Cuba, 2 from Argentina, and 1 from wherever I break with nuclear subs. Wait, no! Taking from Argentina doesn't stop me. In South America, he would have to take from Uruguay and Colombia. That doesn't work for him. Wait, maybe I do win then. Okay, do I have anything better to do than just breaking India? I could break South Africa, but that's... When could it matter? It's really annoying that this doesn't break Europe. It's really sad. I think he just always repairs whatever I do with nuclear subs. So, whatever. I can do it anyway, and if he has voice, I mean Star Wars, that he can do his worst, and he has 30 seconds to come up with something, so I will not... I should have played it immediately to not give him more time to count everything. 10 seconds left. Oh, that's nothing. Alright. Holy Jesus, what a game. Oh my god, okay, yeah, thanks for watching. If you actually did, you crazy bastard, and I will see you next time.